Labor rights, how you doing? How you doing? I don't know about no other labor rights now, but you see me when me hear the bell and when me hear the party anthem, it's like me turn fool. I don't know. Guys, top of the screen. Today we're going to dissect the People's National Party. We're going to dissect their scandals. We're going to dissect how much of a criminal organization they are. So today is PNP scandal. PNP, the criminal organization, the most corrupt political organization in the Western Hemisphere. That's what we're going to talk about today. Top of the screen, share the live, because I think this is important for persons to hear. But if one person we reach, we do a good job. So that is the aim. So first of all, let me shout out to my people over on YouTube. The last time I checked, I was at 919 subs. So I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. Just started posted in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I posted my first political blog. And I'm on to 1,000 subs. So I am speaking of my people them over YouTube. So shout out to Myrtle Ray 5716, Carita Daly 6488, Bibsy 1234, and Joni Butler 6400. As those persons interact on my YouTube and they comment, and I like their interactions, so I'm just giving them a shout out. Right? I'm a bit under the weather, guys, so bear with me. I am coming from a grueling week. I was at a three-day conference. So I was working and I was also enjoying myself, because when you work hard, you have to play harder. And yeah, so it's like I come home and I feel the effects of it. My body is feeling one. But because Andrew after getting third term and I will rest after his third term, I am here today. And I see a lot of things going on the internet. I see a lot of people running up their mouth and them are going. But today, my appeal in my mind, I am talking about this criminal organization that is under the guise of the People's National Party, the most corrupt political organization in the Western Hemisphere. And I cannot see fit how these people want to lead our country in 2024 going to 2025. It will never happen. And we cannot allow it to happen. As well-thinking Jamaicans, we cannot allow it to happen. So, you see I have a picture up of the list of PNP scandals. That is just a tip of the iceberg of PNP scandals. I'm going to list some of them, because from the inception of time, the PNP has always been riddled with scandals or some form of controversy. One thing I hear them running with is that it was Siago who demonized Rastafarians in Jamaica. People, that's why it is very important to read and know your history, and also education is very important as well. Norman Manley was the first person in Jamaica to victimize and call for the head of Rastas on sticks. Norman Manley, take on the history. So PNP scandal, you have the Iran sugar deal scandal, you have the Shell waiver scandal, and this is a scandal that PJ Patterson vowed that he shall return, and indeed he did return. Zinc scandal, furniture scandal, motor vehicle importation scandal, foreign exchange scandal, National Water Commission scandal, Operation Pride scandal, Montego Bay Street People scandal, cat salary scandal, net serve scandal, Cuban light bulb scandal, NSWMA scandal, scandal White House, Sandals White House scandal, FinSac, the mother of all scandals, church money scandal. So can you believe this corrupt organization all have scandal in the church? And I see a certain church group coming out and speaking up about allowing due process and talking at you reading because I don't want to upset my brain. So I didn't even read, I just listen to what people say, but I say this. You see those church people, and I know I saw Lakem Simaj as one of the persons who signed. Lakem Simaj is a PNP activist, right? One of the PNP lapdogs. It is funny how this so-called church group did not see anything outrageous about the Cherry Tree Lane massacre. They were numb. They were silent. Right? This church group, numb and silent. They were silent when the teacher got kidnapped and unalive. They were silent when Melissa Silveira got unalive in her matrimonial home. They were silent when the mother of Philip Powell's child and along with that child was unalive. They were silent. Yes, I see. They were silent, But now, in a ploy to bring down Andrew Holness, they're all vocal. Well, the Bible did don't tell we we have to look out for them. The principalities and the wickedness in high places, coming from high places. You never talk about nobody else, but you talk about the people them in the church, the deceivers. Because God called fool and he not keep fool, and people are seeing. So when you come in a political business to bring down a man. Sorry about that, guys. I'm missing my diary. To bring down the man for no other reason than he is a poor man or a poor boy will come from Spanish Town and you can't see yourself in the mirror. When you can't look on yourself in the mirror, no other reason. Right? When I do some pawns, like him Simata and your friend them, come now under the umbrella of your church group. When a citizen mowed down a police officer while doing his duties, you were silent. The church group was silent. But once Anthony called, all up in arms. We are watching. Back to the list of scandals by the PNP as Ken Down doing a wall around the National Heroes Circle Park scandal, and to this day, the wall can't finish. That is the same Ken Down where I think it was an MP aspirant or a councilman go up on them platform stage got big up. Right? Bad gas scandal, dead baby scandal. How can we forget? Fenton Ferguson said, oh, those are not real babies. $400 million scandal from the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Can you believe it? 400 million. And Mark Goldin, Angela Brownberg, Nathan Campbell, and all those people, they're not upset over taxpayers' money, but guess why? Because a PNP thief it. So once a PNP thief taxpayer money, it's okay and it's nothing. Traffic guru scandal. Scandal with Azan in the market. And traffic guru is still going on now in the courts. Green Bay massacre. Jeep scandal. Operation Pride. All of these scandals. PNP involved? Right? So the first scandal I'm going to look into is FinSac, the mother of all scandal, because a lot of young people like myself and the younger and even older don't really understand what FinSac was. What was the devastating impact it had on Jamaicans back then and still having on us today? We are still suffering from the realms of what they did to us in the 90s. So I'm going to read an excerpt on FinSac. Top up the screen, guys. Share the live. So FinSac was set up in 1997 as the government's vehicle to intervene in the financial sector, which faced a liquidity and solvency crisis that saw several institutions go belly up. FinSac sold US 23 million worth of non-performing loans to US-based Beal Bank, which subsequently sold the debt to the Jamaica Redevelopment Foundation. This represented more than 24,000 loans, with the government collecting more than 15 to 50% on the net proceeds recovered. The FinSac inquiry was conducted between September 2009 to 2011, during which former leaders and directors of the failed financial institutions, along with borrowers, gave their accounts of what occurred during the 90s and subsequent events. An estimated $150 million was spent on the inquiry and the commissioning of the report up to 2019, when the government did not extend additional funds to complete the report. Earlier this month, Dr. Clark explained that the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is working to ensure the assessment of the data can be made available to the public. While he gave no immediate timeline on the project, it's the first time since 2018 some timeline has been given on the long-awaited report. Da-da-da. All right. So Gary Baker was one of the numerous persons who took up Prime Minister Michael Manley's offer of 5 flights to Miami in 1970. So the PNP was so destructive that they were offering persons to just leave, because like the Danmanship has always been a part of the PNP. The bullyism has always been a part of the PNP. The Butu politics has always been a part of the PNP. So Gary Baker was one of the numerous persons who took up the Prime Minister's Michael Manley's offer to 5 flights a day to Miami in 1970s. She returned only in the latter years as her husband's 43-year-old construction company faced issues relating to his checking account and his payments being bounced. While the funds were being paid, there were months when the interest on the demand loan is separate from the checking accounts. When the loan was not paid on the date specific according to the demand loan agreement, they would add to the amount of his checking account and charge interest on that again. So interest was being compounded left, right, and center. Additionally, with most of the borrowers who had loans and not got into this FinSac issue, they started with loans, say 18 to 25%, with a couple of months. The interest rate on the loans was at 120%. So can you imagine you taking out a loan at 18%, and within months you're being told that it's now 120? So your loan repayment balloon out of what you had already planned for. Yes, so this is things. Her husband borrowed 10 million at 35% to complete two contracts which saw his home and two properties pledged as collateral. Sorry. The two projects went awry, with one owner losing his business to the bank and the other client refusing to pay after being taken to court. Despite the difficulty, the loan was still being serviced. However, the interest charge eventually reached 120% with a repayment of 52 million. So how wicked is it that I borrowed 10 million from the bank and per se say I would pay an additional 10 million, right? They give them additional 10 million. So now you pay 20 million. But in the end, you're paying $52 million for $10 million loan. 52 million for a $10 million loan. Atrocious. These are the things that the PNP have done to poor Jamaicans. Remember, this is an organization that, guys, stop up the screen. This is an organization that love the poor. Right? Them love the poor, and these are the things that they do to the poor. So the man repaid 52 million, not being enough to settle more than 85 million that the JRF demanded. So he borrowed 10 million and paid 52 million, and it was still not enough to service his debt. The family almost eventually sold for 20 million despite having an offer of 50 million. Bailiffs and police arrived at 7 a.m. and informed them they had to leave by 11. So can you imagine? You work so hard to invest and build a life for yourself, your home that you work so hard for, valued at $50 million. You were forced out. You were forced out of your home, and it was sold for a meager $20 million. And in the dawn of morning, at the break of day, 7 a.m., police and bailiffs prance upon you, and by 11 a.m. without any notice, you had to leave, no question asked. These are the atrocities that the People's National Party have done and continues to do to Jamaican citizens. Right? These are the atrocities that they do and continue to do to the Jamaican people. I'm going to play a clip, and I want you all to listen carefully to the experts as they speak about the atrocities that the PNP have done and continue to do to the Jamaican people. Because things are, I don't know what was it in the 90s and the early 2000s that Jamaican people were just not realizing that this criminal organization that called themselves the PNP was no good for Jamaica. I don't know if it's lack of education. I don't know if it's manipulation. But thank God for young people and for persons who are now seeing the light. I see a lot of persons who said that they have come over on this side. They are now a part of the JLP. They were PNP because Mama and Papa. They were PNP because they were born a PNP family. But after extensive research and seeing and understanding and coming into their own knowledge, they realize that PNP is no good. It's a criminal organization. And might I add, I'm not here to entertain any PNP, so good afternoon. If you happen to stop by, you can leave. I'm not forcing anyone to stay and listen. In particular, the PNP, you can leave. My audience is never for the PNP and never will be for the PNP. Right? So, I'm sure that you can click a like. Go and talk about Margolin. Praise Margolin. Today we're talking about the atrocities of this criminal organization. And listen to this clip because a lot of people don't listen, they don't know the atrocities of what the PNP did to people in the 90s. And might I add, Mark Gordon was right there. He's a mentee of Omar Davis, who went on to become an advisor to Omar Davis. So Mark Gordon is not brand new. Hold on.
Forces in the history of Jamaica's economy. It led to the financial has been one of the most destructive forces in the history of Jamaica's economy. It led to the financial sector collapse, where over 40 financial institutions went. Entrepreneurs that previously had been heralded by him. Some of them are exiles abroad now. Many entrepreneurs lost their businesses. Many companies that were over 100 years old in Jamaica were destroyed and sold to foreigners. That is the legacy. And even one of his colleagues who sits in this room today described it as the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since the abolition of slavery.
The financial shock, which began in 1991 in Jamaica, ballooned unchecked over the next 5 years until it exploded with a catastrophic bang in 1996. The explosion left shrapnel scattered over the financial landscape, which still impacted on the economy so many years later. My sister Valerie Dixon,
So what I want to bring out this morning is that a lot of people do not understand where this thing came from. And I want to just read a little from an appendix that was written in the Observer some time ago. It says, when Omar Davis, then PNP finance minister in the 1990s, began the process of dismantling the Central National Bank, it was done immediately after the Don Crawford run entity had bought a significant sum of US dollars at a few dollars more than the price that the official exchange rate indicated. The bank did nothing which other banks were not doing in a time when an inept PNP government was struggling with managing a market economy which it knew little or nothing about. What the sale of those dollars did was reveal that the very same finance ministry was covertly, that means underground, dispatching agents with huge sacks of cash in the trunks of their cars to buy US dollars at prices above the official exchange rate. The money was stolen eventually. With blood rushing to its head when this action was revealed, an embarrassed PNP government set about withdrawing public funds from the Central National Bank, making it publicly known. And in the process, it started or triggered a run on the bank, which was seemingly designed to end its life.
Quick pause. I wonder if you're listening. So these men were going around with thousands, maybe millions of dollars of US in the trunk of their cars. Remember, them this is state money, and it was eventually stolen. See, I'm like the 700,000 where that man from Upper Integrity Commission just a drive round with the 9 car where quote unquote just got stolen. Okay. All right.
That, however, is a sad history for the most progressive bank existing in Jamaica at that time.
Because although I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davis, because I knew him in the financial sector, where I had been like one of the lead.
So this is we call him now Golden, Mark Golden. So I want you to listen very carefully because people think that Mark Golden is new and he just born the other day.
For the most
So I'm just gonna get a look. Hold on, I'm gonna come up.
in Jamaica at that time.
Because although I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davis, because I knew him in the financial sector, where I had been like one of the leading corporate lawyers in Jamaica and very involved in financial engineering. And so when he was Minister of Finance, a lot of the things that required industry input, I was one of the representatives of the industry that he was. I got to know him through that. And that's how I got into the PNP really, through my relation with him.
Alright. So Mark Golden done making money already. Remember him now? You know how he making money? Through the collapse of FinSac, and you listen to him say it out of him same mouth. All of those policies and were engineered through him, through Omar Davis, and Omar Davis introduced him to politics, and that's why he's in the PNP. And please remember that Mark Golden now is currently in Omar Davis' seat. Because that's how Omar could have offered Mark Golden and Peter Bunting at the time of a financial collapse in the 90s, when 44,000 businesses went under, when 40 financial institutions went under. DB&G started right in this collapse, right? And they ballooned so that they could sell their entity 15 years later for $100 million US, while other entities were going down. And they got sweetheart deals. So the same Greg Christie now, who he recommended while he was at the Contractor General for intensive look into the sweetheart deal between DB&G, Mark Golden, Peter Bunting, and the sweetheart deals that they got from Omar Davis. And when I need to come on the internet, come tell a lie upon nobody. When I hear Mark Golden see himself, he was one of the financial engineers. Remember, he's a lawyer by profession, and you don't know nothing about finances. But Omar, who also don't know nothing about finances, had you at the time engineering the financial sector behind doors. So much so that he brought you into the PNP. He gave you his seats. And now he's endorsing you. I endorse you to become PNP president. So you can come back and engineer another financial collapse. Because you said it, 400 million from the NIR. That's where you're eyeing. Stop paying off for debts. That's where your eyes at. Peter Bunting eyes also on defunding the military, i.e. the Marines, and funding fishermen in protecting our borders. So the engineering of another financial collapse is coming, my people of Jamaica. So uno sit down and uno yai and realize the atrocities that Mark Golden is coming to bring on the people of Jamaica. Mark Golden is not new to politics. Mark Golden said it himself. His mentee, his mentor, who he was a mentee to, he became his advisor in the 90s. And when the financial collapse took place, they sold the couple's house for me at 20 million. The people them out value 50 and you sold it for 20. The man borrow 10 million. He pay on 50 million and it 50 million and it still wasn't enough to pay off the loan. So much so that orchestrate that Omar Davis set up him Tapanari's friend to get a seat. Because there is more money in the coffers of Jamaica that they need to engineer again and thief out and dig out. Alright. Mark Golding is not new. Mark Golding did not enter politics in 2020 because they want to seem as if Mark Golding is this brand new figure with new ideas. Mark Golding is the same old wicked culprit from the 90s. Yeah. Same old wicked serpent from the 90s. Nothing new about him. FinSac entrepreneurs saddened by Mandible's couple's suicide. Yai water de pan uno. Tears de pan uno. So that's why when you see some atrocities, I catch some of them politicians here. Uno not sorry for them. And the wickedness them what they do to people. Listen to this report. The Association of FinSac Entrepreneurs say it is saddened at the death of the elderly Mandela couple who committed suicide on Monday. The bodies of Morris and Grace Richardson were found hanging from a staircase at the home of Glenwood Close of the Carter Road. In a suicide note, the couple blamed FinSac debacle for driving them to taking their lives. Can you imagine people unaliving themselves for the atrocities that the People's National Party did to them? Association President Yola Baker said it is devastating that yet another FinSac debtor has committed suicide. So it's not the first set of people are committing suicide because of the atrocities of Omar Davis, PJ Patterson, Mark Golding, and that entire PNP administration of the 90s. Gray Baker said many debtors continue to suffer as they are still paying back huge loans and are still at the same time losing their homes and businesses. She laments that the death of the Richards should act as a sign to the Portia Simpson-led administration of the importance of completing the FinSac report and making it public. But point to note, once they took over in 2012, they defunded the report and stopped it completely. Yeah, because what is there to hide? Same like the traffic guru where them fight to close the documents away from the public and have it in private hearing because people must not know about the wickedness and the atrocities of the People's National Party. Yeah. So can you imagine? Because when you talk about FinSac, they want to ask, why are you going back to the past? And it's the past and let's be the past. But it's just the past for you. But to a family who their loved one unalive themselves, to a person who works so hard, and at the break of day, it's 7 a.m. in the morning, somebody came to your house and telling you had to leave by 11 a.m. without any question asked. It's not just the past for them, it's their live living experience. So you and your hungry belly PNP friend them can say it's just the past. Because enough of the money and the 5,000 I want to get in an envelope of half of the backs of hard-working Jamaicans who suffered from PNP and their atrocities that they have done and continue to do to the people of Jamaica. And breaking news, Peter Phillips and Angela Burnberg, Mark Golding, the time when I fast na Andrew honest business, the people them in the constituency are look to uno. They need you to come represent them. So take on a year out of the man bank account and go represent the people who elected you to represent them. Road in deplorable condition, crime and violence riddled down a jungle. A man Golding find time for your fast in a Andrew business. Come on now. So now fast on people business while phone wanna spoil. I want to, where is that video of the gentleman who spoke about FinSac? I have another video. Because people want to make it seem as if FinSac is just a myth, but it is real. And Mark Golding, who is boasting about him coming and having wealth, he now tell them say the wealth that he's speaking about is the wealth of fallen Jamaicans who got sweetheart E for DB&G, and it boosted him wealth and could have sell a company for 100 million while 40 other financial institutions was failing. It was miraculous that only DB&G was booming. It was miraculous enough that it's only DB&G through sweetheart deals given by Omar Davis was booming. Well, listen to this gentleman for a while. One of the living survivors of the atrocities of FinSac.
For young and not that young people, Voltaren, the joy.
Give me a minute, guys.
I'm suffering inside and everything. I'm very practically, even right after as I, we don't have any water in the garden. And I can hear on the back of here, it's a very, very bad habit and I have to go and bathe. And I have to leave water from here, go out there and bathe. No water, no facility, no this year, and only back people in the area. And it's poverty.
Adjusting to his new life has been difficult for Meshach Willis. The entrepreneur has fallen on hard times since losing his house as a result of the financial sector collapse of the 1990s.
You use yourself like a light. And to move on to this place, it's not easy to cope with. Many of my friends and other people who know me and know where I am now and where I used to be, said to me that they don't know how I manage it. They don't know how I manage it. That some people say they couldn't live it out. Even my children, them sometimes them confused because they've never used this kind of life. And they don't know how to cope with it. It is so hard. It's very, very hard to cope with life like this.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant, losing belongings he and his family had spent years accumulating. The FinSac entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by FinSac for just $3.5 million.
Yeah, at the time when the house sold, they said that whole 11 million. And they said they sold it for 3.5, and I still have a balance of 7 point something. Up to now, I don't know if I still owe that money or what happened. I don't know if I have a money in my hand now, if they will come to me for that money.
because they say, wait, and I don't know if it's still doing interest. Because every time we have an account, nobody won't give it to us. Mr. Willis says he ended up being fin-sacked because he took a revolving loan from the now defunct Eagle Commercial Bank. However, with the interest rates skyrocketing, he, like many others, found it difficult to keep a pace with the financial demands. The toll of FinSac hasn't been easy for people who were forced to start life all over again. The news of a Manchester couple's suicide late last year, which was linked to FinSac, hasn't surprised Bishop Lewis. Many other people just dead. They take it to heart and dead. My wife, I know that she couldn't take the pressure. That's why she died. You understand? And if I can't feel like it, never dead too. And if my children them, nothing. Nobody likes to go like that. Lascelles Poyser is another FinSac entrepreneur who believes there are many untold stories about the emotional fallout from FinSac. I know some of these people personally, And I grieve for them, Some are sick, some can't take it. There's one thing, when he pulls, I was like, themselves. I'm not going to name it because it's still around. And when he sold his house, he was living in Stony Hill. Very, very nice house. He almost gave it away. Beautiful home. The wife couldn't take it. She suffered more than him,
So guys, that's just an excerpt. The excerpts are there. The evidence are there. These are the atrocities that Mark Holding, Omar Davis, PJ Patterson, and the entire PNP administration of the 90s did to hard-working Jamaican people. Persons could not live with the fallout of the financial sector that they unalived themselves. Mark Golding is not new to politics. And as he said himself, Omar Davis bring him into politics, and many of the financial advice and ways in which Omar moved in the 90s were as a result of him. He is now sitting in Omar Davis' old seat. So when the PNP come out to make it seem as if you're new and brand spanking new, and not even the PNP, but Mark Golding, they want to make him seem as if he entered politics in 2020 and he's new and he's so squeaky clean and he's only spending from generational wealth. Well, I'm here to debunk that lie. Mark Jefferson Golding, is far from new to politics. He has been around. Right? And let me read an excerpt regarding the sweetheart deal. The Office of the Contractor General is pointing to irregularities in the handing of sales of receivables from the sales of shares in the National Commercial Bank, one of the banks that were affected in the 90s. The findings are contained in a 110-page report titled Alleged Sweetheart Deals involving the then governing People's National Party administration and former investment bank Deering Bunting and Golding, Peter Bunting, and Mark Golding. The Office of the Contractor General investigation has sparked by allegation made by Finance Minister Aldisha Green on April 23, 2008, City of Parliament. Minister Shaw pointed accusatory fingers at the former Finance Minister over what was an agreement signed on March 26, 2004 for the sale of DB&G of the government-owned receivables. Listen carefully. Government-owned receivables due from AIC Limited following the sale of the government shares in NCB. Mr. Shaw also questioned the resale of a portion of that said receivable by DBNG to two public bodies. So Omar fixed up his friend to get government-owned receivables and then flip it and sell it back to the government. Haha, what can go so? What really can go so? The National Insurance Fund and the National Housing Trust. So a long time PNP had developing a housing trust. Okay. In this report, Brett Chris, the Contractor General, said evidence provided by Dr. Omar Davis and Dr. Wesley Hughes, former head of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, shows DBNG went to the Ministry of Finance with a proposal for the sale of AIC receivables in January 2004. The Contractor General concluded that this was an unsolicited proposal and there was no evidence Dr. Davis tried to solicit other financial institutions to provide similar services which DBNG provided to the government in regarding to sales. So remember, you had other institutions who were failing. The number is estimated to be 40, and you did not try to put out a fair deal for everybody to get a chance. You only sweetheart dealing your friend, a DBNG, so much so that they were brave enough to come to the government and made their proposal because Mark Golding knew at the time that his mentor is the Minister of Finance. So they now go tell him no. Interesting. In addition, the Office of the Contractor General. Hold on. In his 3-page paragraph recommendation, the Office of the Contractor said that the concept of the unsolicited proposal should be immediately removed from the government's procurement guidelines. The matter has been referred to the Solicitor General and the Attorney General to determine whether actions accounted to a breach of the National Insurance Scheme Act. And like the good PNP, it was brushed under the wing and we heard nothing about it. Yes, Lord, I spoke about the 44,000 business such as Goodyear and all those others on Arbor Drive downtown, all of those business buildings that you see locked up and rattling away were booming establishments that got closed down during the FinSat debacle. Free zone devastated. Thousands of persons lost jobs. Thousands of businesses closed down. Persons unalive themselves. Thousands of people unalive themselves, and Mark Golding wants to make it seem as if he is brand new and he is new to politics and his wealth is only from generational wealth. No, sir. You got sweetheart deals. Because why it was only your institution booming when other financial institutions were going down? So much so that you sold the entity for $100 million US within 15 years. But one day, the PNP will pay. Whatever is in this lifetime or that lifetime, they will pay for the atrocities that they did. And you see how some of them ugly? You see how some of them look like, I don't even know what to say. You see how them ugly? And the sins and the wickedness when them do to the people of Jamaica. The sins and the wickedness what them do to the people of Jamaica are bear upon them. Tell you that. So make Mark Golding come tell you say he knew. He is not new. Montego Bay street people scandal. It was one of those scenic Montego Bay nights. A rookie green reporter was walking through Samtrap Square when he saw men believed to be members of the St. James Municipal Council work crew and police officers rounding up street people, pepper spraying them and binding their hands with ropes and placing them in the back of a truck. It was not until the following morning when news broke that 32 street people had been kidnapped from several locations in Montego Bay the previous night, July 15, 1999, and subsequently dumped near a mud lake near Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. That the young reporter realized that what she had seen was the genesis of a monumental act of shame and injustice. A monumental act of shame and injustice. Based on the account given at the time by survivor Vernon Gibson, a veteran of the U.S. Army who was a combat in Vietnam, things could have turned out worse had his fellow captives not heeded his advice and not those for their captors, who were urging them to run down a slope in the dark. When we reached this place in St. Elizabeth at almost daylight, but it was still dark, then back up the truck and about 20 feet from a spot, cut the rope and let me out and said the first man who run down the hill will get the best room. Yeah, guys, stop up the screen. They're reporting the lives. You see me over here for my live, and I bother nobody, you know. And PNP, come over here and report my life for a reason I do not know. Stop up the screen, guys. Stop up the screen. Share the live. Anyways, focus. So they told these men to run and they will get the best room. Recall Gibson. I raised my hand and said, don't move, make we wait until daylight. When daybreak, we realized we were almost at the edge of a mud lake. It is still unclear as to whether or not some of these three people heeded Vernon's instruction. To date, 6 of the 32 street people have never been accounted for. There's a belief, that they have ended up in the mud lake and simply disappeared off the face of the earth for good. So can you imagine? These are the atrocities of the People's National Party. And church organizations want to come out in defense of this criminal, politically corrupt organization. The Bible tell you about the wickedness in high places. And you see all of them 4 people that were signed that letter there. Woe be unto uno who mislead God people. Yeah? Woe be unto uno who mislead God people for uno own benefit. Uno end up a bitter. I'm gonna ask and tell me and tell you no. How can it be that you just round up people and go throw them in a mud lake because they don't look aesthetically pleasing to your eyes? But it is this led Andrew Honest government who have upgraded state-of-the-art and built state-of-the-art facilities for homeless people and mentally ill individuals where they can go and get a night rest, get a warm shower and a warm meal. It is this led Andrew Honest administration, but it is the PNP of the past who take up street people and go throw them in a mud lake. And they want to come and to pretend as if they are brand new. Lest we not forget that 6 of those people today are unaccounted for. Can you imagine a human being grasping for air and choking on mud in pitch black darkness? How wicked of a set of people can you all be? How wicked. And then you want to come and tell me that I should support and I should support the People's National Party when the PNP of the past is the PNP now. Whether you rise or you want PNP, you know, still PNP. No better Erin, no better Barrel. What I want the same set of evil and wicked people with the same intentions. Nothing not change. The same financial meltdown of the 90s that caused Jamaican citizens, hard-working Jamaicans, to go insane and lose their mind and take their lives is the same thing Mark Jefferson Golding wants to bring on the people of Jamaica. Because the first thing in I is the NIR. Take out 400 million and just give it away. Stop paying off with debt. Because debt payment are important to the PNP. You know what is important to the PNP? Blaming market vendors for an unkept market and a raising of market fees. That is what the mayor of Kingston is proposing on the vendors in Coronation Market. But when he was not the mayor, it was Delroy Williams' fault. And the garbage truck people fault. But now, it is the vendor's fault to collect garbage. And the vendor's fault to do municipality job and keep the market and the town sanitized. So much so that this mayor is proposing to raise market fees on the vendors. But I one thing me have to say, I'm good for no. And that you not vote for. And that anything tax on if you go in the market. Tax on if you say in the market. Because of that you not vote for. You love semantics. Let's talk about market again. Richard Azan resigns over Spalding's market scandal. What is it with PNP and scandal and market and municipality and money? I'm like a specialty. In a release a short while ago, and this report is from 2013, Office of the Prime Minister said Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has accepted the resignation. I received today the resignation of the Minister of State and the Minister of Transport, Works and Housing. Simpson Miller said, I have accepted his resignation. I choose to place on record our thanks to him for his hard work and commitment to improving the lives of people during his tenure. So she now, in no point in time, chastise this man and reprimand him for what he had done, you know. She had big him up and I tell him, say, make them chat, give him a resignation. With teeth enough, you can't go and go rest. Them are going to talk feet because Jamaica a 9-day wonder country. Azan, who was a member of parliament for Northwest Clarendon, has admitted to instructing. Listen carefully. Azan, at the time of this report in 2013, who is the member of parliament for Northwest Clarendon, has admitted to instructing a private contractor, John Bryan, to construct 10 shops at the market last September without the permission of the Clarendon Parish Council. So can you imagine the man admit the guilt, you know, and he not even see a courtroom doorway, you know, and so PNP running because taxpayer money and the PNP is nothing and they can do whatever they please whenever they please. So you can imagine Azan admit to criminality and it was only 9-day talk. The IC who submitted a completed report because once a report sent to the parliament is completed, no criminal charge can and shall be laid upon the Prime Minister because there is no evidence of illicit enrichment. It's the talk of the town. The FID, who was already investigating, and the IC withdrew them from the investigation and go take foreign help. IC a call back for them again to go start a new investigation after the director of prosecution said no criminal charge to be laid because they depend on witch hunt to carry down Andrew Honest and tear him down and take on him good name. But Richard Hassan, who admitted to criminality, did not even see the street where the courthouse upon. This is PNP, a criminal, politically corrupt organization. The Office of the Contractor General said the construction of the shops was done without permission from the Clarendon Parish Council and that the rent was set and charged without proper consent. So, the Contractor General has handed his report of the investigation into the erection of wooden shops on the periphery of the parking lot of the Spalding's Market. I wish to assure you and the cabinet that I received no money, favors, or personal benefit, financial or otherwise, from the erection of rental of shops by Brian Construction. My legal team has reviewed the report and advised that the Contractor General has come to certain conclusions not supported by facts. So Azan went as far as dismissing the Contractor General and calling them dishonest and challenge the report. But can you imagine in 2024 if Andrew Only should come out and say the IC is lying and they are giving people misinformation and challenge the IC? How uproar Jamaican people would be in, how uproar the PNP would be in, but Azan, who did it? There was no uproar. There was no uproar. There was no fanfare. It was willingly admitting to criminality. And attacking the office of the Contractor General, and it was okay, and there's nothing to it. But that's just one of PNP scandal. Many other scandals. Thanks for the gifts, thanks for the follow, thanks for the likes, guys. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube. Click the link in my bio, go over there, subscribe, like, share, and comment. I will post in this video. I will try to post it no later than Monday, and I promise you tomorrow. Right? The salacious Trafigura affair. This salacious Trafigura affair. Lord God, when me go down, scandal upon top of scandal. What a party full of scandal. The innards of a questionable 31 million donation by Dutch oil lifting firm Trafigura breach bearer to the People's National Party government in 2006 was entrusted the country for 15 plus years until this week we expose when top party official begins to testify in open court. And as I said before, the PNP has always been trying to challenge and muzzle and have things in close court because they don't want people to hear and learn about their atrocities and how corrupt they are. Right? They don't like that. Eh? Robert Pickersgill. I tell you, these people are crazy. So the headline grabbing affair, which is scheduled to begin here in September court this morning, follows on the 2021 edict of the Privy Council in London. So PNP got far as the Privy Council, you know, to hide for them scandal and atrocities. And guys, remember these reports are from the past. So if you hear the dates, they are past reports. The fact that the matter had been escalated to the Privy Council by party officials after the Court of Appeal in 2017 dismissed an appeal against a 2011 Supreme Court ruling by former Prime Minister and PNP President Portia Simpson Miller, as well as Philip Palwell, the father of scandal, Robert Pickersgill, Colin Campbell, and Norton Hines, should testify in open court about the donation. So they wanted to testify in closed court where no media and the case documents are sealed and nobody hear about their wickedness and atrocities meted out to the Jamaican people. And then go as way as the Privy Council, and the Privy Council say, hell no, talking at open court. But guess what? Portia Simpson Miller is now sick and the case stalled. But nothing on the Pickersgill, nothing on the Philip Palwell and the others. So I'm just honest, if you are listening, Justice Minister Malawi Fort, Delroy Chuck, one free Chakugura case, the one no. So see like how diaspora people carry 13 million and LA Lewis control millions from them on stage like the go-go's that they are. And so them take money from Traffic Gura for run party scandal, for run party campaign, which is illegal. At the time, Campbell was the Minister of Information and Development and also General Secretary of the PNP. The money was transferred to the account just prior to the People's National Party annual conference that year. Conflictingly, Traffic Group said that the money was a part of a commercial agreement, while the PNP maintained that it was a donation to the party. It is illegal under Dutch law for companies to make donations to political parties. They made the offer. They said that the new elections are imminent in Jamaica and that they are intended to make a contribution. So you embroil yourself in a criminality when you know it's wrong because you want money to have 5,000 and 2,000 to go in an envelope so you can manipulate the minds of the poor, desolate Jamaicans and buy them vote. Okay. Campbell told journalists at a news conference in October 2006 at the PNP headquarters. He also told journalists that the CCOC stood for nothing in particular and that the account was simply one the party used to deposit campaign finances. However, the Jamaica Observer later found that the CCOC meant Colin Campbell or candidate. Criminals, thief, wicked, PNP, that's who they are. All in the face and when they find you guilty, you still who over here? Moderator, Black Diego right now from live. Get Diego a black. Moderator Black Diego. I don't want Diego no one in my platform. Moderator Black Diego. Thank you. And then I'm not kinty with no PNP. Full speed ahead. Moderator block him. If moderator there, I will be blocking him. Whatever. Moderator, I take too long. Moderator, I take too long. Hold that block here. Don't come back on the platform here. Thank you. Diego has been blocked. I don't want nothing to do with Diego. Mr. Diego over the housewife over Canada bring down my name. Well, I'm Shana. Yeah, Shana just gave him moderator and I blocked Diego. I don't want Diego over here. I'm not in a skin teeth. Another one, you Richards. If you don't ever see you Richards push up him head over here, block him. Them two evil and wicked. I mean, I have time for evil and wicked people. Because they want to feel like say a joke me upon. So, as I was saying before I was really interpreting interrupted by that serpent. The CCOC meant Colin Campbell or a candidate and was an association formed by a group of his supporters. The resultant scandal cast a shadow over the party's image and Campbell resigned as General Secretary from the cabinet. A few days later, Simpson Miller reported that the money has been sent back. The matter, however, refused to die, and just over a year later, in November 2007, Golding, who was by then the Prime Minister, told Parliament that the Dutch police believed Trafigura Bearer had bribed Jamaican public officials in 2006. So then take bribe from this foreign institution to fund them campaign so them could get money to go buy votes in the election. Wow. Consequently, the Parliament on November 20, 2007 passed a resolution giving the Dutch investigation permission to probe the donation to the PNP. The National Public Prosecutor's Office of the Netherlands was hell-bent on questioning the 5 appellants about the payment which was made while Trafigura had an oil lifting agreement with Jamaica. Between December 2007 and May 2009, the prosecutors wrote various letters to Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutors, requesting assistance in the form of taking evidence from the appellants and the oath or affirmations. But the 5 insisted that they had no information that could assist the investigation and argued that taking of their evidence in open court would contravene their rights under the Constitution on the basis that Section 16, which requires proceedings to be in open court and did not apply to the taking of evidence under the Mutual Assistance Criminal Matters Act. Yeah, so it is basically a very long and robust report, but in the end, it is can be said that the People's National Party, we call them on the name Palwell, Pickersgill, Colin Campbell, Portia Simpson Miller, take money to fund them campaign, which they knew it was illegal. Nothing come out of it. Scandal after scandal. Cuban light bulb scandal. When me ever done, Lord? Scandal after scandal, and guess who? They're there again, Farwell. Eh? So can you imagine every scandal under the history of PNP? Farwell name Carl Panny, and he still be there as front runner in the PNP. And Mark Golding want to come size up and talk about corruption and integrity and work. Until you get to the Farwell out of your cabinet, you can't have a talk. Matter self, get yourself out of it because you don't make no sense. So that's a little delving, because we have a lot more scandal to go. So I'm going to touch them little by little. A distressed former minister wept openly amid news at the light bulb scandal, and the latest to have burned the previous People's National Party government has been turned over to the police fraud squad. In Parliament yesterday, Karen Spencer, the young junior minister, who was purported to be the next Prime Minister, but we know how PNP and young people go. Then not build young people, then destroy them. Who had responsibility for the light bulb project under Philip Powell of Industry, Technology, Energy and Commerce had to be consulted by colleagues as the new Minister of Energy, Clive Mullins, unveiled more than discrepancies in the unfolding saga. Mullins wanted to know why some 49 million was supposedly paid to Cuban volunteers on the project, since Cuban authorities had said they would send stipends to their nationals who had volunteered to work in Jamaica to distribute 4 billion free light bulbs. So then tell lie on the Cubans and thief the money. He informed us that the matter had been previously been transferred to the Auditor General and the Contractor General and not been sent to the fraud squad and the Director of Public Prosecution, saying that the situation smacked of fraud. Mullins said that he had been told that the Cuban social workers had come at the request of the then Jamaican government, contrary to its later report that the involvement of the volunteers was a requirement by the Cuban government to ensure quality control. Sorry, guys. The minister's statement brought fresh taunting from government ministers who yesterday demanded that Spencer explain the discrepancies. Spencer looked sobbed and distressed, seemed willingly to make an attempt to clear himself, but was apparently dissuaded by his more seasoned colleagues. So the seasoned thieves and criminals telling him, don't talk, you're going to incriminate yourself. And all he did was talk, was cry, sorry. This led to the considerable taunting and cries of talk and talk. Tell Jamaica how it go. When the accusation subsided, the political leadership who tried unsuccessfully to fight back the tears was consoled by opposition leader Portia Miller and member of Parliament Charney Webster, who went to be by his side. So, the Energy Minister said a review of the schedule of payments for the period July 21 to 2007 to August 31, 2007 has shown that payments of 49.7 million were paid out by UMDC supposedly for transportation, stipend and accommodation for the Cubans. These are the said Cubans who were given stipend and well taken care of by their government. Then tell lie on the Cubans and thief the money and and then turn around and sell with a free light bulb. Right? So remember, you know, this is the PNP who loves the poor and cater for the poor, and the Cubans came here and saw that no man. These bulbs that you guys are using will allow JPS to hike up energy bill on you. It's not effective. Or it's not user friendly, so we're going to sell some energy saving bulbs. I remember these are poor Jamaicans that the PNP always are told to them love. But them thief the bulb. Them thief the money and tell lie on the Cubans. And make Current Spencer get the fall feet. I'm seeing some 352,500, 49.7 million, 114 million, and the other amount of millions that we're not hear about and seen in the report. Wicked set of people, man. Wicked. Wicked set of people. And that's the PNP for you. Let's talk about see with my guys. I don't know if it's a change in temperature, but make it cool. But I decide to listen now. I will rest when Andrew gets his third term. Still I come talk. So the Manchester municipality 400 million fraud trial. Do you know? They tried lightly over here. I beg you do. You tried lightly over here. Now ask me if the blood was stolen. All of them are supposed to have the bulb and the thief. The question is, did you get any of the bulbs? And did you sell any of the bulb? The free bulb? Don't come over here and ask me a question. The way is now clear for the government to begin the legal process of seeking to take possession of properties and other assets valued at more than 220 million that have been traced to former Manchester Parish Council official Sanjay Elliott. The Manchester Parish Council has been since renamed the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Already the properties and assets, which include an apartment complex consisting of 11 units, a 4-story family house, 4 residential lots, 6 high-end motor vehicles, as well as under ridge line, and several bank accounts have been frozen by the Supreme Court. It's funny how the PNP want fasten Andrew bank account, but they never see the several bank accounts where them corrupt friend thief and swindle the money. They never see the high-end vehicles and the apartments that them take the municipal money and build and buy. Oh, atrocious. And to this day, I don't even know what the outcome, but I'm just tell you now. Scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal. And before I end it with the Green Day massacre, if the PNP can steal from themselves, why wouldn't they steal from the Jamaican people? If the PNP can thief them own campaign money, imagine when they get taxpayers' money, what am I going to do with it? 5-fingered as PNP money scandal worsen. Accusing fingers are being pointed at 5 senior members of the People's National Party who are believed to have collected campaign donations and not turned them over to the party in the lead up to the last general election. But the party's president, Portia Simsimila, is not among the 5. A report from the then PNP treasurer Norman Arn, which was presented at the party's National Executive Council meeting in July, claimed that the action of some members with campaign donation was a major problem for the PNP. So, you can imagine, you go at the conference, you collect from the poor Jamaicans, and then you turn around and thief the campaign money. These are the poor Jamaicans who want to say are suffer, I want to go to them, but collect money from them and then turn around and thief the money. So what will PNP not do to the Jamaican tax money? If they can thief from themselves, thief and criminal. And this is why we say the PNP is a criminal organization. And yes, truly, Portia Simsimila was an enabler for a lot of the mismanagement and criminality that took part in her cabinet. So let's read a little more what was said. These persons were actively in the market for what seemed to be sole benefit of their personal campaigns and collected significant amounts from members of the private sector who were embarked by the treasurer as potential substantial donors for the benefit of the PNP, as one cohesive unit, said a section of the Orange report. Now PNP insiders are claiming that Orange should have named 5, as comrades already know who they are. Mark Golding, I know, you know, who are the 5 thieves who thief the campaign money. We still want to know, because me know, you know. According to the party insiders, in one instance, a foreign entity contributed US 20 million to the PNP, but this was collected at a high-ranking party official and not turned over to the treasury. Some senior members reported collected several million from members of the local business community In other cases, millions of dollars were collected by another senior PNP member who it is alleged told the contributors not to give any money to Arn or the party's General Secretary Paul Burke. And speaking of Paul Burke, who is no longer a member, well, I don't know if he renounced the membership, but he's not really upfront with the PNP again from his wife sabotage him. Yes, that same Takatakatik woman named Brownberg. Her husband, she sabotaged her husband and sell him out to Peter Bunting when he was going up against Peter Phillips. So can you imagine if you have a woman who will go against her own husband and this what is the word that I'm looking for? She go against her own husband. To disobey him, to deceive him. What will not she do to the people of Jamaica? This is a man who she vowed to respect and honor and cherish and love till death do us part. And she do him like that. What she will do to the Jamaican people? All the persons they are pointing fingers at is not true. That person handed over the most money as a minister, but there are others, and the people told us, said the PNP insider. In one instance, a contributor put me on a three-way phone call with a senior member, and I heard everything myself, said the insider. He pointed out to our news team to a donor who confirmed that his company made a contribution to a PNP candidate who made it clear that the money was for his campaign. Do not be fooled by some of the rhetoric you hear coming from some persons. One clear indicator of the guilty is when some of the most vicious ones have gone complete. When some of the most vivacious, ones have gone completely silent, but we know them, said the PNP insider. In this report, which has not yet been accepted by the NEC or said on numerous occasions, information received by the treasury from the potential donors was that the contribution had already been made to senior party members for the benefit of the party. However, only a few members reported or accounted in full or even in part for the receipt of these donations to the treasury of the party executive. This heavily affected the party's income and shortchanged the party, resulting in a negative effect on the national campaign. So according to Hearn, due to the fragmentation of the leadership machinery and subsequently the national campaign itself, there are multiple non-cohesive and disjointed campaigns being run by distinct groups and individual members of the party. Has there been a cohesive executed campaign with the treasury being the central bank and the receipt of the bulk of the resources, then it is highly likely that we would have won the election. No, you would have not. And been the government today. No, would work. The opinion was shared by Julian Robinson. Julian Robinson don't even know 1+1, but he want to be Minister of Finance. Scandal after scandal after scandal. 75 people here, guys. Please follow me over here. Go over YouTube, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Support the movement. It'll only get better from here. Right? So I can't believe scandal after scandal after scandal. I'm going to read the last scandal. And there's many more, guys. There's many more. But I embark on those for the last 2 hours, basically. Can you imagine? Me sitting down and speaking about scandals of the PNP for 2 hours straight, non-stop. And that was just a tip of the iceberg. There's many more that I could and can dive into. Now, I'm going to talk about Jeep yet, you know. I'm going to talk about Jeep yet. PNP PNP is a party full of scandal on top of scandal. It is not even funny. And well, Green Bay is not the last one. I still have some more. But hold on. Let me go in the Green Bay. Because just to show the atrocities, big up in Angawen, just to show the atrocities of the PNP. So their scandals not only entails stealing of money and mismanagement of funds and sweetheart deals, it involved the unaliving of peoples and destroying of properties. Wow. A survivor of the Green Bay massacre 34 years ago is crying out to the government for assistance as he declared that he had forgiven the Jamaica Defense Force whose soldiers shot unalive 5 other men at the Army's fire raid in the hills of Elcha, St. Catherine on January 5, 1978. Delroy Anthony Griffith, 58, one of the survivors of the brutal onslaught. Do you guys hear the choice of words in these reports? These are the words that are associated with the People's National Party. Yes, UIC, welcome. UIC, I encourage you to step up your game because we need an opposition, but the People's National Party is no more. So UIC, as a Labourite, I'm encouraging you to step up your game and become the second party in the country because we, the Jamaican people, have no confidence in that criminal organization that is called the PNP. So we need a second party to keep it in checks and balance for opposing. And I am suggesting UIC stepping up the game. PNP is no more. They're over with. So let's me go over. A survivor of the Green Bay massacre 35 years ago is crying out to the government of Jamaica for assistance, even as he declared that he had forgiven the Jamaica Defense Force soldiers who unalived 5 other men at the Army's firing raid in the hills of Elcha, St. Catherine, on January 5th, 1978. Delroy Anthony Griffith, 58, one of the 3 survivors of the brutal onslaught and the only one who still lives in Jamaica, told the Jamaica Observer in an exclusive interview last week that he was not bitter with the JDF and the government, but wants his own situation to be given urgent attention. 4 other men from Central Kingston, inner city community of Southside, escaped the shooting and lived to tell how they were lured to the JDF shooting range with the promise of jobs, but ended with bullets coming at them instead. So can you imagine young men just wanting to work and contribute to society and make a better life for themselves were lured and shot and unalived because they are poor boys from the inner city, same as what they're trying to do to Andrew Oles, but in a different style because he's a poor boy from Spanish Town. People read between the lines and look at what these people are doing. It's the same rhetorics, but they're just using different styles. Same rhetorics, the same PNP, but they're just using a different style. Nothing new, nothing changed. Nowadays, Griffith, who is called Green Bay, among other names, by those who know him and understand the history of the event, hustles to make a living by his own admission, but the ends do not always meet. Government should do something special for the people who survived Green Bay. They should be living easy. Government should be giving them everything. I agree. That was wickedness. I do not know why they wanted to unalive the men. War gun came out. Some unalive men after you say you are going to give them work. Choosing my words, people, because of TikTok. The army bring them out. I joke that boss. We should have everything, but from traveling allowance to everything. It looked like the government take us for fools, he said. The Southside resident buys and sells items to supplement the money that he gets from his 5 children, all based overseas. I'm trying to get to the meat of the matter, because can you imagine PNP only give people them 5,500. The emotional scars of Green Bay remain etched in him, and he vividly recalls the events of that day that forever changed his life and those of the other 10 other men who went there from an initial group of 14 that had committed to making the trip up a day before. I still screw and get angry whenever I think about my friends who died over Green Bay, but I have forgiven the army and the government. Although they could do more for me, I do not get no help. I should get looked after. Good and not depend on what my youth them giving me, he said. I still thank Father God that I am alive here today. I don't have any bad feelings against the army, no bitterness towards them, because if anything, they have to protect us when it comes to certain things, he said. However, he's still bitter about the words uttered by former National Security Minister Dudley Thompson, who assumed portfolio responsibility weeks after the incident. Thompson, who died in January this year, aged 95, and the wicked always live long, made an infamous statement. No angels died at Green Bay in the aftermath of the event, for which his People's National Party administration were severely criticized. So you're telling me that these young men who only wanted to work were brutally massacred and unalived? And then Minister of National Security came on public platform and said no angels died at Green Bay. I tell you, the wickedness of the PNP then is this wickedness of the PNP now. Wickedness, I tell you, wickedness. The wickedness of the PNP then is the wickedness now. Thompson, who also served as a diplomat to several African nations and who was a brilliant lawyer, while PNP always full of a liar, the wicked and the evil ones, always them over PNP, was out of order and disrespectful, Griffith said. He was no angel either, Griffith hit back. See him dead and nobody not shoot him. It was a wicked act it was a wicked act, and he was more wicked than some of those men who went to Green Bay, because those men just lived off football. Apologize. Yeah, PNP all do things, apologize. Yeah. So the men, and guys, you can go and read up on the Green Bay massacre. The men only wanted work. And because they were not aligned to the PNP, they were lured in the dead of night and carried and massacred for no apparent reason, just because they wanted a job. That's it, they just wanted a job. That is the PNP. So I want to delve in a little more in some of the scandals. And mighty God, I think I'm getting to the end of scandals. What a whole heap of scandal. What a whole heap of scandal. And I think this report is mainly about PJ Patterson and his corrupt tenure. After an administration in the 1970s steeped in corrupt use of power, the PNP returned to old habits when it became the government in 1989, and it indeed set a record as the most corrupt government in the history of Jamaica. So the PNP then is the PNP now. Wow. Will we, the people of Jamaica, sit by and allow for history to repeat itself? Huh. The roll call scandal was an extensive list. Zinc for hurricane victims, furniture for minister's house, shell waiver, foreign exchange purchases, motor vehicle importation, land distribution at Alon, sand mining, National Water Commission, Operation Pride, NetServe, NSWMA, Sanders White House, Montego Bay, Traffic Bureau, Cuban. Some of these scandals I went through before, so I'm going to go through the ones that I didn't go through. So zinc scandal. The outgoing JP government in 1989, after Edward Siago managed that hurricane so well, the ungrateful people of Jamaica voted him out. Okay, right, fine. But he left behind 400 million of zinc imported for the relief of the victims of Hurricane Gilbert. This was to be distributed according to the needs of all hurricane victims, prepared from imperial surveys carried out by the Jamaica Defense Force and other government agencies. No sooner had the PNP taken office that they had ignored the official list of beneficiaries and began the corrupt distribution of zinc to supporters and gang members on both sides to implicate both parties, while the hurricane victims remained roofless. So they defied the list. All issues into gang members, while the victims of the hurricane remained roofless. Political activists became dealers in zinc and drove a zinc factory out of business. Wow. Political activists became dealers in zinc and drove a zinc factory out of business. Zinc was used instead of money to bribe voters in the 1990 local government election, and even a jail sentence could not prevent a PNP activist being released from prison to sell zinc and speak on the election platform in 1990. Wow, let's read that again. Political activists became dealers in zinc and drove a zinc factory out of business. Zinc was used instead of money to bribe voters in the 1990 local government election, and even a jail sentence could not prevent a PNP activist from being released from prison to sell and speak on the election platform in 1990. So, we see history, and this is why PNP don't like history people. And this is why history is important. Because I don't know they might bring criminality on them political platforms stage. As far back as 1990, and I am sure we can find instances before that. But we are talking about we have the factual evidence and documented facts in front of us. PNP then is PNP now, the same criminal, politically corrupt organization. Furniture scandal. In February 1991, the Director of Public Prosecutions issued an arrest warrant for Robert Hill and the inventory clerk at Parliament and businessman Canute Sadler in respect of bills totaling 1.5 million for furniture allegedly supplied for furnishing offices and residences by government ministers. This was the tip of the iceberg of the furniture scandal, sorry. The incoming ministers in the new PNP government in 1989 decided that they wanted to live like princes and the public purse. They ordered the most luxurious fitting appliances for homes and offices. These include chandeliers and drapes valued at 250,000, crystals, hi-fi equipment, marble bathrooms, and expensive rugs and kitchen sinks costing 80,000. For one member of parliament, when the scandal broke, all the princesses confessed innocence. Some claimed that they never got the goods, and some said they did not know the price. And Ben Clare of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said he signed the invoices without looking at them. Can you believe the man said he signed the invoice without looking at them? So PNP, boy, may I tell you, you are take taxpayer money to do work and you just sign invoice without looking at them. Prime Minister Michael Manley said the big spenders would be forced to pay the superfluous goods they ordered, pay for the superfluous goods they ordered, but that was simple damage control. Yeah, typical PNP, because nothing was heard of restitution. Typical damage control. PNP then is PNP now. Nothing not changed. Shell waiver scandal came in December 1991. This caused a storm to break over the PNP government led by PJ Patterson's resignation, from which the cabinet at the time he promised, I shall return, and return he did with a vengeance. Because Petroleum, the government-owned oil refinery, was the main provider of unleaded fuel, government placed prohibitive duties on the importation of the commodity by other petroleum dealers. Much to the surprise of Petroleum's chairman, Eli Matalan, Shell was allowed to, under a waiver, to import duty-free huge quantities of unleaded fuel that would have attracted a duty of 29 million. Remember, the people have to pay, if them to import this, they have to pay the government 29 million. You know how much hospital bed that the 29 million at that time could have buy? But no, Mr. Patterson cutting friend them deal. Foreign exchange scandal. And this is what sparked and started the FinSoc debacle and the meltdown. It's one of the things that engineered the meltdown of the financial sector of the 90s. The period from late 1991 to early 1992 was a time of great instability to the local currency. The government had prematurely liberalized the economy, and there were too many Jamaican dollars chasing few US dollars. The economy was about to enter a period of 100% inflation. I wonder if you hear this. The economy was about to enter a period of 100% inflation. And the government aggravated the problem by mismanaging the money supply. And inflation, they blow down 4%, and them are complaining. Okay. So on January 3, 1993, a BOJ trader was held up at Stewartown, St. Mary, and robbed of 2.5 million. What was surprising was that it didn't happen before, because traders were going into the BOJ garage and filling trunks of their cars and cash to do business with taxpayer money, you know. People that are going to a bank and just full of car load a trunk of money, you know, and that I saw PNP operate. I saw PNP operate then, and I saw them operate now. Because then take government and the people's business with party shop. And then do as them please. When them please. Okay. I'm not going to come to repeat history now, go work. Motor vehicle scandal. With restrictions still in place in 1992 on the importation of motor vehicles and with the heavy duties payable, PNP activists and others conspired with a highly placed person in the Trade Administrative Department to import a variety of vehicles without paying duties. They defrauded the government of 20 million in duties. I'm not going to read up more about the motor vehicle scandal. Scandal after scandal. Land distribution scandal. This was there was a scandal and injustice in distribution of land at along St. Elizabeth in 1994. Why PGF was so much scandal? People had been settled on land and under the land lease program in the 1970s were dispossessed to make room for approved PNP activists and criminals. That's them call them PNP activists, but the right words are PNP criminals. Notably among them, a PNP member of parliament who was allotted 30 acres of a land of his choice. Other well-known PNP activists, aka criminal, a magistrate, a lawyer, and other professionals were given land with bona fide farmers who had actively cultivated the lands were denied. While so people who deserve the land, farmers, were denied the land and given to PNP activists, aka criminals and magistrates and lawyers and other professionals. So we know say the embedding of PNP in high places, especially in our justice system, is nothing new. Okay. When this injustice was challenged, the government spokesperson defended its actions. And that is why we have to defend Andrew Holness to the mountaintop. And we have to stand tall with the most honorable Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, and he shall get a third term. Because he no do nothing wrong. He no illicit no money. He no give friend them no sweetheart deal. Okay, so Andrew shall and must get his third term. And who not like that? Pack on the bags and go. Sand mining scandal. Again, PNP activists, aka criminal, because I use activist as a nice word, but you know me not mince words. So the PNP criminal who masterminded the motor vehicle importation scandal became involved in the mining scandal in 1994. The activity was permitted in the Lake Spanish Spanish Town era, where sand mining had led to the degradation of agricultural land, jeopardizing dwellings and caused the railroad to change its course. It came to public attention in April 1994 that the PNP activist, aka criminal, was mining sand in the area on the pretext of developing fishing ponds, for which purpose he had earlier secured a lease from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. So, I don't know, one of yesterday, PNP involved with criminals and criminal activity. Scandal after scandal, can you imagine? Hour plus straight a scandal, and I know me not done it, and some scandal not even touch it. We can't touch them today. They're too much. Guys, remember to subscribe to my YouTube. Like, share, and comment. Water Commission scandal. And this was scandal of a scandal. People are honestly tired. Me can't read no more than scandal. Me tired. PNP is a criminally corrupt organization. PNP has always been this organization that have been embroiled in scandal after scandal after scandal. PNP is not new, and PNP is no good for Jamaica.